There are some specific problems you can come across when you're mixing your music or if you're mixing someone else's music. However, there's a really viable solution for this one specific problem that we're going to give you the solution for. And this has to do with the bleed over from the hi-hat when you're recording and mixing real live drums. We've got Nic Z on here to take you through the process to help you solve this problem really before it becomes a problem. Now, real quick, Nic Z, he is a full-time pro audio engineer. He also works with labels, artists, and bands around the world. He is the real deal. And by the way, this is a two-part series. So in this first part, we're going to talk about the recording process. Nic's going to share a very simple strategy that you can put into place right now to help solve this problem with the bleed over.
Hey guys, Nic Z here. We had a student asking about reducing hi-hat bleed in snare or overhead bleed in snare. So we're going to talk about that in the DAW, and we're going to talk about some ways to address that while mixing. But before we do that, I wanted to talk to you about tracking, because while this is a problem that happens in mixing literally all the time, if you're doing your own sessions, this is something you might not know, or you might not be aware of, or it might not be on your radar. And I just want to talk to you about it very quickly. So this is an SM57. This is a Shure mic. This is pretty much the industry standard for miking snares. I use it to mic snares. There's lots of other mics you can use, but for today, we're going to talk about this mic. And I want you to look at this. So if you don't know what that is, that's the cardioid pattern of the mic. An easier way to say that is the capture pattern of the mic, and I'm going to show you. Come on over here to this whiteboard. So this might seem like, Mike's 101, and I guess it is in a way, but bear with me. So here's a mic. Not quite the right shape, but whatever. Here's our 57, all right? Here's our mic. And this cardioid pattern, as you can see, is showing you this little notch, and then it shows this. And all of this in here is what the mic is going to capture. Obviously, if you point a microphone at something, this is what the microphone is going to capture. But what I wanted to talk to you about, and this is the important part, of the reason that we talked about everything up until this point, is I wanted to talk to you about this. Because all of this space back here is stuff that's not going to get recorded, or that's going to get recorded less actively than this. If you speak into a 57 from this end, you're going to get a lot of signal. If you speak into it from this end, you're not going to get very much signal, and that's the point. So this is something, again, for your consideration. So over here, here's some drums. And I wanted to talk about mic placement. And a lot of times you see, mics coming in and doing this. So if the mic is coming in here and doing this, the cardioid pattern is doing this, and I'm sweeping and getting this, because this is the only place that I can have the mic. But the hi-hat is over here on the side, so I might be getting more of it than whatever. So the idea is, if you're miking on your own, try and get the mic here. But if you can get the mic here, the closer you can get the back of the mic, kind of, if you consider that this end of the mic, the back end of the mic, is acting like the negative microphone. Okay, so this is positive microphone, this is negative microphone. And everything that we don't want, we want to point the negative microphone at. So if we don't want hi-hat, point the negative microphone at the hi-hat. So I have my positive mic and my negative mic. Now, this is a tricky place to get a mic if you're trying to do that, but they do sell like clip versions of these that you can get on the side or whatever, and that'll help. And some clever mic stand positioning will get you more to where you need to be. Now you can also look, if you look at, I'm just gonna have to sit down here. If you look at where this hi-hat is placed, it's a little bit up and off. That we have a lot of room right here, purposely, because I want to be able to get mics in. But I can also, I can probably move it out more like this, and I could probably raise it up even more to give myself even more access to this without really, losing that access to the hi-hat. A lot of drummers, most drummers that I know, most metal drummers, most rock drummers, they like to have a nice, tight, congested kit. This is my house kit. This is the studio kit. And my drummer plays on this now. As you can see, it's wicked. Here, show them. It's real congested. My fabulous assistant, Maggie, is going to show you all of how congested this is. And if I was trying to mic this kit the way that it is, it would be, these shells would be unusable. So if I was going to track, what I would have my drummer do, or any drummer for that matter, that was a bad example. That's not going up anymore. Let's see if we can get it here. Is I would start to get stuff up like this. Stuff up and off the drums. And while instead of, you know, reaching here to hit it, he has to reach here to hit it. And it's, I know it's for economy of motion and to try and keep everything as tightly grouped together as you can have it. When the cymbals are up and off and away from the drums, if you consider what we just talked about with cardioid pattern, if we consider how far away that cymbal is to the negative mic, to this negative position. So when I'm miking a tom, if I decide to put it here, I can't move this right now. It's going to take too much time. You guys will be sitting there going, what the hell's the matter with you? But if this was, you know, up comparably here, this splash, and this was here, like consider how much more tom signal you're going to get and how much less overhead signal you're going to get. So that's hugely important and not something that I hear people talk about really ever. When I hear about microphones, when I think about microphones, and I you know, even myself, when I started recording, I was never thinking about what is the microphone not pointing at. Always, what's the best angle to get the best sound out of the drum, but never ever the negative side like this. So that's thing number one, that if you're doing your own recordings, that trick right there is going to save you a million hours of work. That trick right there is going to save you a lot of time. So, all right, for the next stuff, we're going to go inside and look at the dog.
Guys, I hope that you found this video helpful. Now remember, there is a part 2. When that part 2 becomes available, we'll put it up here so you can go watch that next. Now, if you're ready to take your metal mixing skills to that next level, learn what industry standard really means and the simple ways that you can achieve that in your mixing, do check out our complete mixing course taught by Nic Z. That course is called Metal Producer Overlord Mixing Series. We have a link in the description of this video to go check that out and learn how that can help you. I want to thank you so much for watching Metal Mastermind here, guys. Please give this video a like. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And remember, we are here to help you create your own sound.